Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for May 26. We're currently looking at the US-Japanese yen pair. This particular pair did form an inside bar today. It is starting to move sideways and the bias is now sideways. We're currently looking for this pair to potentially go as high as as 95.89, possibly as low as 93.63. Look for some resistance around 95.25 and look for some support around 94.40 in this particular pair. Now switching to the Euro USD pair, this particular pair we have moved lower today. If you remember from the previous sessions, we were looking at taking out the low here and looking for it to basically retrace back down to this point. That did occur. We are looking though for this pair to it's starting to move sideways, and we're looking for it to continue that trend. Look for it to move potentially as high as 141.50 and possibly as low as 138.56. Look for some resistance around the 140.50 mark and look for some support around the 139.20 level. Now switching over to the pound US dollar pair, this particular pair did close up for the session, however it is starting to move sideways. The bias currently is sideways as well. We are looking for this pair though to potentially go as high as 156.39, possibly as low as I have those reversed. Currently looking for it to potentially go as low as 156.39, possibly as high as 160.94. Now look for some resistance around the 159.66 level. Look for some support around the 158.38 level. Now switching over to the US Swiss, this particular pair closed up today, did move much higher before pulling back and closing within the realm of the previous day's session. We are looking for this pair to move potentially as high as 110.13, possibly as low as 1.0733. Look for some resistance around 109.15 and look for some support around 10800 in this particular pair. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Looking for the US-Japanese yen pair. If you notice, we had an inside bar that was formed today, so we have potential for a breakout to the upside or the downside, so you could take that trade. Something else that I'm looking at, we have a swing trade set up, so if you draw your trend line, we're pretty close to breaking it if you take out those lows, but then you can take the inside bar, the breakout to the downside, which would be off of this session, and basically look for it to break through when it does short, and then when it hits the breakout level at that point exit. It's not a lot of pips, but nonetheless that amount of pips you should definitely get during this next session, and that's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of, let me show you real quick, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 50 pips. So that's a potential trade that I am definitely looking at during this next session. Now, as far as news announcements, we have the Eurozone releasing the German CPI for May. Year to date, the numbers are looking like they're going to drop from 0.8% to 0.2%. So not good news for the euro overall, or not well. Depends on how the real news comes out. With the CPI dropping, it's not necessarily a bad thing for the euro, but if it's higher than expected, which I don't anticipate it being, but if it is higher, then we could see it negatively affect the euro. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.